All right, fellas. All right, Houston Texans fans. All right, AFC South divisional champions. All right, Rookie of the Year. And Mr. Coleridge Bernard Stroud himself, Will Anderson Jr., bringing home the Defensive Rookie of the Year trophy with honors. And I believe it should have been a three-peat with your head coach and DeMeco Ryans winning Coach of the Year. But I guess Texans just did way too much. I'm going through this mock draft, and I had to look at, a lot of the roster. I had to look at last year. I hope you guys know and understand, and you probably have already really told the world, y'all clear-cut won the draft last year. 100%, no questions about it. You won the draft last year, and I really think we can win the draft again this year. I have a beautiful mock draft, serious players that are going to be hitting the free agent market. I'm going to go over them very briefly. Sheldon Rankins, unrestricted free agent. Dalton Schultz, Derek Barnett, Jerry Hughes, of course, who's about to hit 36 years old. Steven Nelson, starting corner, about to be 32 years old. I believe you'll probably make a deal with one of these important guys. Devin Singletary is another one. George Fant, who took over for Titus Howard this upcoming season, he's going to be out of the office. And then Jonathan Greenard, he's another guy. So I think if y'all are going to put your own money anywhere, it's going to be with Jonathan Greenard. I think Grenard, sorry, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. I think y'all are going to bring Grenard back. I think that's going to be a deal where he is going to want to come back. I think y'all are going to have to probably break the bank for him. He did have a career year with sacks. And so maybe he tests the market. I don't really know. And then Sheldon Rankins, I believe he's another dude that you guys definitely should try to make it work. Bringing him back. You guys paid him almost 10 mil this past season. Maybe you can get a little bit less money. I don't know, but he's definitely a guy that I think you should definitely figure out. And then I don't know after that. It's really tough after that because the money of next year, it's going to be a lot. I mean, y'all are going to have to play Stingley at some point in time. So I don't understand exactly how y'all are going to move y'all's money, but let's get started with this mock draft. I love the first pick so much, and this was tough. I think, and I believe what the philosophy should be is how can we make CJ Stroud, Coleridge himself, better? I understand the defense is losing a lot, and in this particular case, we are going to assume that Grenard gets signed. I'm going to say he strikes a deal. Denzel Perriman, I believe, he is also one of the guys that's going to be unrestricted free agent. Maybe you guys get him on a minimum of some sorts. And so with the first pick in the first round, pick 23, this pick you guys got from Cleveland, Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. Why did I go here? I feel as if I'm not going to say that Tank Dell is not going to be able to take the brute force of the NFL. I'm not going to say that he's not going to be a long-term solution for the offense at all. Not saying that at all. I just believe clear-cut dry. If you guys have Tank Dell, Brian Thomas, and Nico Collins, who came out as a phenomenal wide receiver in the National Football League last year, you guys have a three-headed monster. Y'all are going to be in high competition with the top wide receiver group in the National Football League, and I think everything should be predicated behind Mr. Coleridge himself. And I just really didn't like how the offense looked in totality after Tank Dell went down. I just didn't love it. But you have a receiving grade of 75.1, 5 drops, that's it. This overall grade at a 74.2, it's skewed because this man led college football with 17 touchdowns. He is a beacon light down the seams. He's going to be that Z receiver. Nico Collins going to be the X, and we're going to have Mr. Tank Dell himself in the slot. I just think that's just going to be a lethal combination of you guys on offense. And then, in case we cannot get Sheldon Rankins that contract figured out, we're going to go to Florida State. We're going to get Braden Fisk. If you do not know, now you know. This kid is an absolute animal, a beast. I think he definitely fits the blueprint of the Houston Texans D-line culture. He is not a J.J. Watt, but gosh darn it, does he remind me of his ferociousness, the engine that doesn't stop. That is what Braden Fisk is. He is an interior dude. He has 35 hurries in 2022 with an 86.6 grade, and in 2023, 73.9. 19 hurries. He was getting keyed up more. He was getting a lot more attention. Teams were definitely going his way a little bit more. So that's what really put not a halt, but it wasn't just as a beautiful day, but that Florida State defense did a lot of great things. Pass rush graded at 73.7, run defense graded at 69.4, true pass rush grade at a 76.4. And so those are great, phenomenal numbers for your interior guys. And then we're going to go to our next pick. I got to get through this fast because y'all have a lot of picks. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Louisville corner. With Steven Nelson at 31, I don't know if you guys would want to bring him back. Let me know in the comments. I think he had a great year. I think he was one of the top defensive backs in the National Football League, but he's going to be 32. I'm not saying that's old necessarily, but it's not young. So Jarvis Brownlee Jr., a physical corner out of Louisville, 77.9 grade this past season. He is a risk taker. He is a boom bust kind of guy. Risk reward more kind of guy. At overall coverage graded at 78.1, run defense graded at 75.1. We had the pleasure to have an interview with this gentleman at the Senior Bowl. He's a very big rah-rah team guy. I think that's what you guys want. You want a fully devoted team guy upon the defense. He's going to listen. He's going to learn. He did win the defensive player of the game award for the Senior Bowl, so great honors there. In the 4th round, you guys are going to go and get Dalton Schultz replacement. My favorite player that's not Brock Bowers is Ben Sinnott, tight end out of Kansas State. He is a ruthless. He is ferocious. If you have not seen this guy's film, if you have not seen his highlights, you have to go look at it. You have to right now. He is going to be in a beautiful missing piece for you guys. 82 overall grade this past season, 6 touchdowns. We love that. Receiving grade at an 81.0. Run block grade at a 76.1. So when you guys are so good at play action, which is so important to be so good at play action, he is going to be very, very much involved. And what am I thinking? You know, Devin Singletary, he's another one of those unrestricted free agents that is on the board for you guys. Of course, you have Dameon Pierce. I'm really curious of what you guys think of him, but I had to go running back. And so what I did is I went back to Florida State and I got you guys Trey Benson. He's pretty much a carbon cutout of Breece Hall, the New York Jets running back. Overall grade in 2022 at an 88.5. In 2023, 84.2. Gave the world 14 touchdowns this past season. A rushing grade at 87.2, a gap grade, which you guys do, at an 89.4, zone grade at a 72.7. Very, very bulky, lower body, thick, downstairs, pause on that one type of running back. It seemed as if when you went smaller with Devin Singletary, that really opened up the run game as opposed to a bigger back with Dameon Pierce. I'm not sure why that is. Now, the thing is I was looking at tackle, but I forgot Titus Howard. He was, ACL, I believe, in the beginning of the season. And so you guys have him coming back into the fold. So Trey Benson, that's going to be a great tackle for him to run behind. And then Braden McGregor, this is just a guy that you can plug in. He's an edge guy. Once again, I think he beautifully sets the DNA of what the Houston Texans have and hold with their guys, and it's engines that don't stop. It's a guy that can line up and just go head on heavy. You guys could potentially be losing multiple edge players, and so I think Braden McGregor out of Michigan will be a great replacement for those dudes. 5 sacks this past season. 74.1 overall grade. And the thing that you have to know about Michigan is that they line change a lot. Y'all do too. You guys put your guys in a lot of different situations. You guys put out a lot of different packages. D'Amico Ryans believes in fresh legs at the defensive line position. And so Braden McGregor, even as a rookie, is going to be getting a lot of reps. Pass rush grade at a 75.1. Run defense grade at a 69.3. And true pass rush grade at a 74.5. And then we go into the linebacker position. And that was the thing. I didn't get a linebacker super high for you guys, most likely because I like Cashman a lot. And I think Christian Harris, I believe it is, Alabama kid, I love him a lot. I think he really came up on the scene, especially in that Browns game, that Browns playoff game with the pick six and just dominating as he did, I think y'all are great there. And so whatever, second string linebackers you guys have, they're going to be able to get bumped up beautifully. But Curtis Jacobs out of Penn State, if you haven't known, now you know. They have been producing defensive players, so whether this kid is going to be a special teamers in the future or potentially a guy that you guys can put on the scene, I just like what he can do. He's very explosive, runs to the ball. Once again, he is a guy that has been placed in so many different positions for Penn State. He's been in the slot, he's been in the box. He has a pass rush grade of 77.1, so really good on the blitz. Not really great in the run defense, but the coverage grade is all right at a 64.9. And so I think it's just throwing marbles at that position at that point. But I listened to you guys, okay? And for the last pick in the draft, I always thought he was good. But let's clear out the air and you guys let me know in the comment section. I remember a few comments of you guys not chiding on Jalen Petrie, but being disappointed in him in certain aspects of the game. And so what I did is I went to Oregon State and I picked up Keaton Bowe. He had a phenomenal combine performance, overall grade at an 88.3. And once again, guys, I'm using a PFF mock draft. And at this point in time, you guys can get Keaton in the 7th round. I don't believe that's reality, but we did it for this mock draft. Once again, this kid is everywhere. D-line, slot, corner. He's in the box. He's out deep. He is absolutely everywhere within the defense. Swiss Army knife type of guy. Run defense grade is what makes him special at a 91.3. And then the coverage rate at 84.4. And so that's what I have for the Houston Texans. And once again, it wasn't hard doing the mock draft because you guys are at a pleasurable pause, but you're at a pleasurable position. You guys are really getting best available player pretty much at every single position. I went Brian Thomas Jr. in the 1st round because why not? Why not? Why not go get a stud at the wide receiver position and make Coleridge Bernard a little bit better and go for the MVP and go for an AFC championship appearance? And I think Brian Thomas is the guy. So let's go through the roster one more time. Let's just go through the mock draft. Brian Thomas Jr. in the 1st round. In the 2nd round, Braden Fisk, interior defensive dude out of Florida State. Cornerback Jarvis Brownlee Jr. in the 3rd round out of Louisville. My favorite tight end that's not Brock Bowers, Ben Sinnott. I really hope he goes to Cincinnati, but I'd be happy if you guys had him in the 4th round out of Kansas State. Trey Benson, a carbon cutout copy of Breece Hall for the New York Jets. He's a running back out of Florida State, probably going to take the position of Devin Singletary. Braden McGregor, edge guy out of Michigan, agent that does not stop, keeps going. Curtis Jacobs, a viable linebacker that has potential to make an approach to get some playing time, but could be a phenomenal special teamers. And then Keaton Bowe, what he is going to do, I think Ward has his spot pretty much locked up. I think he is a great safety, but if the whole agenda, if you guys telling me, if I'm listening to you guys, if Jalen Petrie is some sort of liability, Keaton Bowe is going to be able to keep him on his toes or do a little bit of rotation here and there, but I think he's going to be a great, absolute great prospect for you guys. But let me know where I messed up. I know I didn't go a lot of offensive line. I didn't go offensive line at all, and that's because I believe that the back end of the season, you guys really good, intact offensive line. There were so many games where, of course, you have Coleridge Bernard. He's throwing the ball very early, very accurately, but I think the nucleus of that offensive line, it's great already. And that's why I didn't want to add too much. Of course, you guys can get a 7th round dude to help out, a 6th round dude to help out in case of injury, but you guys are getting Titus Howard back, so I only see very positive things for that offensive line in the future. But I'm happy to the criticism. Let me know what you guys think, but do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.